Hello cricket fans, the summer of cricket is finally here. In fact, it's well underway, and in today's video I'm going to be previewing the upcoming one-day international series between Australia and New Zealand. Now, like I just mentioned, the summer of cricket is well underway. Before I get into previewing the one-day international series, I'm going to take a look back at what was an interesting test series between Australia and South Africa. So the test series between Australia and South Africa was an interesting one. It had a lot of positives and negatives in terms of the Australian cricket team, probably more negatives than positives, but there were some positives at the end of the series. Let's start by having a look at the first test. It was at the WACA. South Africa won by 177 runs in the end. Australia got off to a good start, it's fair to say, in the bowling, but South Africa were able to dig their way back and pretty much win easy in the first test. The second test was where the concern lied. Now, I was here at this test at Blundstone Arena every single day, and Australia's batting display was absolutely woeful. They got 10 for 85 in their first innings. They started off the second test batting, and well, they were all out for 85 at the end of that day. In fact, I think it was just before lunch or just after lunch that actually happened. So it was a pretty one-sided test, and it just went from there. South Africa won by an innings and 80 runs at Blundstone Arena in the second test. The third test was where the positives came from, though, because we made 6 changes, including Renshaw, Madison, and a few others who came in. Of course, Jackson Bird returned to the side, as well as Matthew Wade. There was also a couple of others who were in the side as well, Hanscombe. And it was a real positive test to finish off. Even though it was a dead rubber, it was really good to finish off with a win. And there's some hope going into what will be a massive test series against Pakistan. So Australia won by 7 wickets in the third test. It ended up being a 2-1 series win to South Africa. So an interesting test series. Like I said, had some positives, a lot of negatives, but there is a little bit of hope going into the Pakistan Test Series in a few weeks, which is going to be a very, very interesting Test Series. Okay, let's take a look now at the 2016 Victoria Bitter One-Day International Series between Australia and New Zealand. Really looking forward to this series. In fact, this summer is just an absolute blockbuster in itself here in Australia. We've got so many series to look forward to, and this is one of them that is going to be absolutely fantastic. Let's have a look at the games. The first one-day international is on Sunday the 4th of December, 2:20 p.m. at the SCG. It then goes to Manuka Oval for the second one-day international, Tuesday 6th of December, and the third one-day international is at the MCG on Friday the 9th of December at 2:20 p.m. So all of the games are in the 1 week, and they'll all start at 2:20 p.m. Let's have a look now at the Australian squad for this one-day international series against New Zealand. Steve Smith, of course, is the captain. David Warner, vice-captain. George Bailey in the side. In my opinion, he should have got a go in the test series, but anyway, you can't complain with the changes they made for the third test. George Bailey in the one-day side for this series. Hilton Cartwright gets a go. Pat Cummins is in. James Faulkner, Aaron Finch, Travis Head, Josh Hazlewood, Mitchell Marsh, Glenn Maxwell, Mitchell Stark, Matthew Wade, and Adam Zampa round out the Australian squad. Adam Zampa, an interesting one, of course. Adam Zampa actually denies Nathan Lyon's spot, so or Nathan Lyon getting a go in this one-day international squad. So he'll have to perform, that's for sure. So that is the Australian squad. Let's now get into the New Zealand squad for this one-day international series. Kane Williamson headlines the New Zealand squad as captain. Ton Astile, Trent Bolt, Lockie Ferguson, Martin Guptill, Colin de Grandhomme, Matt Henry, Tom Latham, Colin Munro, Jimmy Neesham, Henry Nichols, Mitchell Stanter, Tim Savvy, and also BJ Watling is in the New Zealand side for the series against Australia. Okay, now let's have a look at the team's form heading into this series. I'll start with Australia. Australia probably have most certainly the worst form out of the two sides. They have lost all 5 of their last 5 one-day international games, all against South Africa. Of course, you might remember that that 5-0 whitewash against South Africa in that one-day international series over there. Of course, the first one-dayer didn't really go to plan. South Africa won by 6 wickets. The second one-day international was a bit more, I guess, demolishing. South Africa won by 142 runs in that game. The third one-dayer, South Africa won by 4 wickets. In the fourth one-dayer, South Africa won by, again, 6 wickets. And the last one-dayer topped off what was a very disappointing series. They won by 31 runs. So Australia, a bit out of form in the one-day international series. Their last win was against Ireland. Their last one-day international win was against Ireland. So a very, very interesting series. It's going to be a hard one for them considering their form coming into this one. New Zealand in their last 5 one-day international games have won 2 of those and lost the other 3. These are all games against India where they had a 5-game series against India. Over there, I believe, the first one-dayer, India won by 6 wickets. New Zealand was able to win the second one-dayer by 6 runs. India fought back and won the third one-dayer by 7 wickets. New Zealand got themselves back into it and won the fourth one-dayer by 19 runs. It came right down to the last game where it was level 2-2 in the series, and then India won the last game by 190 runs. In fact, New Zealand could only get 79. They were all out for 79, which is not a very good effort from the New Zealand side. So I'd like to think these two one-day sides, New Zealand and Australia, are quite even, sort of. Like, you'd say New Zealand has the better form out of Australia, but you feel like they're just a little tiny bit even. Okay, now let's have a look at the head-to-head form between Australia and New Zealand. The last 5 matches, Australia have won 2 of those. New Zealand have won the other 3. We start with the 2015 World Cup group stage match, which was in New Zealand at Eden Park, where New Zealand won by 1 wicket. It was a very good game that day, and of course they met again in the World Cup final of 2015 at the MCG. Australia won that day by 7 wickets. New Zealand started batting and were all out for 183, and then Australia were able to catch that with 7 wickets in hand. Of course, you might remember at the start of this year, New Zealand and Australia had a one-day international series between each other. New Zealand started off with a win in the first one-day, won by 159 runs. The second one-dayer, I should say, Australia won by 4 wickets, and then the last one-dayer, New Zealand finished off the series with a win, winning by 55 runs and won that series 2-1 in the end. Okay, time now for my prediction. I think this is going to be a cracking series. I think this is going to be close. Even though New Zealand seem like the better team out of the 2 teams, I think Australia are going to win the series 2-1. Like I said, it's going to be a close series, but I think Australia, on Australian soil against New Zealand, I think they sort of have the better record against New Zealand when it comes to one-day matches here in Australia. Of course, the last game they played against each other in terms of one-day internationals here in Australia was the 2015 World Cup final. Of course, we know how that turned out. So Australia, I think they're going to win the series 2-1. I think they might lose the first one-dayer, but then I think the second and third games, I think they'll win to win the series. My standout batsman, I'm going to go George Bailey. I think he's in for a cracking series. I think he's going to be the best batsman, I think, in this series, and I think he will really perform. He's been doing so well at Sheffield Shield level. I think at one-day international level, he loves one-day internationals, of course, 2020s as well. I think he will stand up and perform in his possibly his best ever series for a while. And the standout bowler, I'm going to go Josh Hazlewood. He had a fantastic test series against South Africa, and I think he will continue that in this one-day international series against New Zealand. So there you have it. That's my predictions for the one-day international series between Australia and New Zealand. And that is it for this preview of the one-day international series between Australia and New Zealand. Thank you very much for watching. Of course, don't forget to like, comment and share this video. Subscribe to keep up to date with all my latest videos. I'm going to be doing some more cricket content. I'm going to be previewing every single series that is coming up. Of course, the Pakistan Test Series, and then the one-day international series against Pakistan. And of course, we can't forget the international 2020s against Sri Lanka. Of course, I'm also going to be doing some Big Bash content as well. So subscribe if you're a cricket fan. I do other content as well, horse racing. I'm doing some Sydney to Hobart content a bit later on towards Christmas, and plenty of other content coming up as well. So do stick around by pressing that sub button. Thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the one-day international series between Australia and New Zealand. And until next time, I'm Jacob. Bye for now.